It's time to die.
I have experienced paranormal activity in my house. Fuck, did you guys hear his fucking movements opening? Oh.
It's way too many fake niggas. I'm tired of fake niggas. Sneak dissing, but be all in my face.
So I'm gonna get so much freaking dollars that you don't even know it. Ah!
It's only a second one. It's only a second one, and we're already getting bad. We're getting bad, guys. And yeah, that number 2 is very accurate for this film that I'm talking about, which is Hostel Part 3. And this is a movie it has been out for a few years now, and I've been meaning to watch it ever since it came out, especially since on Rotten Tomatoes, like, it only has like 10 reviews, but it has like a 60%. Like, that's not, you know, great, but that's not terrible at all. So I was just like, really, a straight to DVD horror movie like this got a 60%? Must be at least okay, right? Well, it took me a long time, considering I'm a fan of the first 2 films. I don't know why it took me this long to watch it, but I watched it, and oh man, I don't get it. I do not get why it has a 60% on Rotten Tomatoes. Let me just say this. When the first Hostel movie came out, I was like, I couldn't wait to see that movie. And luckily I had parents that didn't give a damn that I was like, I think 16 at the time, and the movie was extremely gory. They didn't give a shit. They just like, go ahead, go see the movie. And I saw it, and I wouldn't say it traumatized me, but it was like, wow, that's really violent. It was very gross. I remember in the theater I saw it in, I'm pretty sure people left, which I know isn't very surprising considering how violent that movie is. But I'm pretty sure a bunch of people left, actually. But yeah, I really enjoyed that one. It was gross. It was disgusting. Maybe I'll review that as well in the future. I don't know. Maybe. But yeah, and then the second one came out, and it was just more of the same. It was bloody. It wasn't as good because it wasn't as surprising. But it was still bloody, and I thought it was okay, even though it bombed completely. So at the box office. So this one, I was like, okay, straight to DVD, lower budget? I don't think so. Actually, I think this had a higher budget than the first 2, which is confusing. But so yeah, straight to DVD. Not Eli Roth this time, but it could be decent. Let me just tell you, I'm pretty sure you can figure this out by now. I'm already 2 minutes into this review. I hated this movie with a passion. This movie is garbage. This movie is straight up garbage. I don't know how this has a 60% on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't get it. I don't get what people thought was a 4 out of 10, a 5 out of 10, a 6 out of 10, or anything above that. God forbid above that. This movie is atrocious. Not only does it have some of the most unlikable dickbags in movie history, all of the characters, all freaking, what was it, 5 of them? There's 5 male characters going to Vegas to celebrate this guy getting married, and of course he's the nice one of the group that's getting married, but of course he's about to cheat on his wife before he even fucking marries her. So, you know, we're real nice. Oh, he doesn't cheat on his wife. He must be a good guy, even though he was about to stick his fingers up that, whatever. And whatever. I'm getting too far off base. This is what happens when I get angry. But, alright, so you have 5 dickbags going to Vegas to celebrate some guy's freaking bullshit-ass wedding. And it takes about 40, I would say 45 minutes until it gets to the part where everybody gets captured and put into the hostel. Which, of course, is the place where people get tortured by other people. People pay a person so they can go and torture another person. So that was the premise of the first 2, pretty much. In this one, it's a little different. Now people pay in a group, like a group of people watch one person torture a man or a woman, and they get to pay while watching. So it's like kind of like an audience. So that's the only thing that's different. And I might not even be right there. It might not be different. It might have been introduced in the first 2. I just don't remember. I just remember them being extremely bloody. I haven't seen them since they first came out. So I could be wrong there, but whatever. The point I'm getting to is that the characters are completely unlikable. The story is pretty much exactly the same, except it's in America and not some European country, which is not even a big difference, really. It really isn't like it matters. You know, I just want to see blood and guts. And you have the biggest dickbags in the world, and it's not even that bloody. like the first big scene where it's like, oh, it's violent. Someone's face gets ripped off, and it looks terrible, by the way. It looks really bad. It looks like they just, like, threw a bunch of, like, gooky blood on his face and then made a shitty rubber mask that looked like his face. And they barely even show it. They show, like, the skin coming off for a second, and then they show it, like, here again, and then it's off. And he's screaming, like, with some of the worst acting. He's like, my face. He doesn't say that, but that's what I would say. My face. What have ye done? Like, that's what I would say, because I'm Shakespearean. So yeah, it's already straight off, like, I was like, oh, that looked like shit, but hopefully it'll get better. It doesn't. The next death, I swear, is bugs go into a girl's mouth, and you get a CG shot of inside the mouth. They couldn't even, like, make, like, a prosthetic mouth or something like that. You get a CG shot, like, if I just put my mouth up to the camera, except it's CG, and you get to see the bugs crawling inside her mouth. And by the way, the bugs are CG as well. You thought the ants in the Green Inferno look shit? I'm sorry. Wait until you see Hostel Part 3, or actually just don't watch Hostel Part 3. That would actually be way better. So yeah, it looks like shit. So the second death is terrible. Then the other deaths are like, someone gets shot with arrows off screen. You don't even get to see the arrows pierce his body until, like, the last arrow shot that goes through his head. Okay, someone gets blown up, someone gets ran over, and a bunch of CG blood comes out. The ending, someone's about to get, like, pretty much not chainsawed, but, like, one of those garden tools that, like, softens the ground. I don't know what it's called, but it has a blade and it, like, spins. And it's coming to his head, and I'm like, okay, here we go. A good-ass prop that just, like, spills blood everywhere. That would be awesome. But no, they cut away, and you see a blood splatter onto the wall, and then the movie ends. What the fuck? It's straight to DVD too, so they could have made it as violent as they wanted to. They didn't need to worry about an NC-17 or an R. It didn't matter. They could just go straight to DVD and anybody could rent it. Like Redbox checks your freaking ID anyway. It says, this is R rated. Are you sure? You say, okay. It doesn't fucking matter. But it's one of the most bloodless, boring, shitty movies. It's shittily shot, which isn't a word, I know. It's terribly shot, terribly acted. The dialogue is awful. There's, like, plot holes in the movie, which for a movie that barely has a plot, you're surprised immediately. And it's just a terrible, terrible experience. It's 80 minutes, and it takes almost 50 minutes, almost an hour, until everybody gets caught into the hostel. What's positive? Okay, there's a scene in the beginning that has a twist that's actually a decent twist. A decent twist. Not even great. And that's it. I can't think of anything else. I can't think of anything else that's good. It's only 80 minutes, I guess. That's short, but it shouldn't be any minutes because it shouldn't exist. So I hate this movie. I can't see how it's a 6 or a 7, like people on Rotten Tomatoes are saying. Don't listen to those reviews. Don't see this. So see the first two. They're violent, gory, and at least have one or two characters that are at least well acted. Like the first one had Jay Hernandez, who I think is a decent actor. You know, at least I could follow him. And I think he was in the second one too. But there you go. That's my review. I'm just gonna give this I'm gonna give it a 6 out of a 40. It's fucking abysmal. This is an awful movie. I couldn't believe it. I was so bored and just like baffled by the decisions they made. Unlikable characters, not funny at all. Mostly shitty twists besides the first 10 minutes. There's a couple of twists in this movie. Also, they waste Thomas Krishman, who I think I'm missing his name, who was in a bunch of movies recently. He was in the new Hitman, he was in the new Avengers, and they misuse him like a mother, man. He is a great actor, and he shows up like 30 minutes into the movie, and then shows up another 30 minutes into the movie, and then he's gone. Cool villain. You could have used him well. He's always at least a decent premise. I mean, a decent presence on screen, but you screwed it up. I'm done. I went on way too long with this movie. So there you go. That's my review for Hostel Part 3. It sucks.